All right, everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be creating a date table. So what we're going to be creating is actually what you have on your screen right now. Don't worry if it looks massive, I'm going to break them down for you. And all you have to do is to actually learn how to create this once. You can save it somewhere and copy it and reuse it over and over again. So today we're going to be learning DAX, and this particular DAX we want to learn is for we to be able to write our own, DAX to create our calendar or our date table. And it's something very, very easy that anyone can do. So if what you're looking forward to is actually creating something like this, some kind of comprehensive date table like this for yourself without you looking forward to anyone to do it for you, I'm going to actually guide you through on how to do it step by step right on this video. All right. In our previous DAX videos, we have actually created all those particular pages right here. You might want to take a look at how we have actually done all of this and see how this can actually help you to learn DAX very fast. So if you want to actually learn with me, let us meet in the class. Oh, sorry, don't forget to subscribe and as well like, share, leave a comment. I love that most when I actually have interactions with my viewers. So keep learning. All right, if you have your data with you, before we get started, please insert a table. So from this table, I want you to actually bring in this particular date key. So the date key, if we go back right here, is actually our transactional date inside our facts table or the transactional table. So I'm going to bring the date key in here. So with the date key now, we have this particular hierarchy right here. So we can remove the day, the month, the quarter, and we are left with the year. So which means we have 3 years of transactional data. I have my reasons to show you this right here, but don't worry. Let's go quickly and start creating our date table. So coming over here right now, we are going to go ahead and actually insert a new table entirely. So let's call this table calendar. So with this particular calendar here, I'm going to do calendar auto. So with my calendar auto, so it's going to actually find in all the tables I have where I have date columns right in, and it will return a specific, some specific dates for me. So over here, we don't have to include time. We can come over here and go ahead and choose the shorter format. So we want to be sure how many years of data we actually have. From this particular date we are creating right now, we can see how many years of data or transactions we've had over time. So I'm going to just go ahead and add what I call add column. So with add columns now, the add columns is looking for a table. So here is now our table, and this is what actually popped this out. So this is going to be supplied to it as our table. So let me give you a nice formatting. So let's go down and over here, sorry, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it down. Let's do this again. Nice. So to add a column right now, you put a comma right here, and it's giving you to actually give the column name. So to give the column name inside this particular double quotes, we type here, we close and we hit our comma, and now for the expression we use the function, and the function is called year. This year function is actually looking for date. That is this particular date. The easiest way to retrieve this date is to actually use a square bracket, and it will bring all the measures you have right here, including this particular table we are looking for. So go ahead and type in day, and we have the table. We can go ahead and close. And finally, let's go ahead and close our add columns. If I hit my enter key, let's see what happens. All right, over here, if I click on this particular drop down, we have more than the transactional years of data. So what is going on right here? Let's go back here. So this time around, if you look at it, we have data from 2007 to 2009. But unfortunately, that is not what is being interpreted right here. So which means this particular calendar auto is feeding from a different table, not from our fact table. So let me show you the particular table it's feeding from. If you go to promotion here, then you can see we have a start and an end date here. So this is where this particular long date came from. So you have data from 2003. Can you see it now? To 2009. Here, let's go on this one. Then we have data from 2007 over here to 2010. So what do we do to actually solve this particular problem? Because what we want to return actually is just this particular, 3 dates right here, right? So there are 2 options. The fastest option, if you don't want to actually do something complex, is just for you to make sure you convert this particular dates column here, those 2 date column here, into a text. But please do not do that inside Power Query. So let's go ahead and actually click on text. That is for the end date. We'll do the same thing for this particular one right here, and select text. So if this is a problem, we should have gotten our issue solved right now. So let's go over here and select this one. Then we have the 3 years of data right here, which is correct. But the question is this: what if in the future we actually need to actually use those columns to create an analysis? So right now is not more on date. It is showing as a text right here. So which means we cannot use it to actually, visualize anything or create any story or whatever from our data. So we just have to take it back to the date that it is. So I'm going to choose date, click on yes. So let's go ahead and do the same thing to this particular one right here. All right, I have returned them back to dates. The next thing now is for we to go back to our calendar. And here we go. We have them back. All right, right here, it is the high time for we to actually start to do similar to what we have done previously. I'm talking about using a variable to control what we see. We are going to point this particular calendar auto to the table it needs to scan. You get it right now? That was why we actually did the variable index. So in case you've forgotten that, let me show you quickly. So over here, on this particular part right here, in our previous video, we did this. We actually learned how to use the variable. And if I go over to what actually powers this right now, you can see here, okay, I think here, you can see here, you've learned how to use the variable right here, this particular part. And it's something very simple on how to actually get it done. So there is no need for you to panic if you're going to get it right today. So let's quickly go back here now and click on our date or calendar. So what we're going to do above here at the top, so we are going to actually create a variable. So I'm going to call this one variable, and this variable should be shifted to here. So this variable right now, we need a name for a variable. So what name do we want to name this variable? Let us name it mean year. So what does it mean? It means we want to retrieve the mean year from a specific date that we're going to specify. So it's going to be equals, and inside here right now, I'm going to do year. I'll do mean, and this mean is looking for a column, and the column we want to have right on it right now is fact table with the date key or the transactional date right here. So we can go ahead and close for both the year and the mean. So we have gotten this right now. We actually do variable again, and this time around we do for the max year, and we type the year inside here. We type in max, and right here the fact, and we go for this particular date key. So we close for all of this. So whenever you are done doing what you want to actually do, we always need to actually use a particular function that would help us to print what we want on the screen. And over here, we're going to do return. So this return now would actually return something. Before this particular return returns anything, we have to tell Power BI that, you know what, I want to filter using the filter function. Filter what? I want to filter this particular table right here. Sorry, this particular column right here, which is this particular column. So already over here, what we have is that this year means go to this particular table called fact sales table, as you can see right here. So what you're going to retrieve for me is the mean year. So if we have 3 years of data, 7, 8, and 9, so 7 is the minimum, and over here we're using the max function. The 2009 is the maximum, is going to return them, and only specify the table we have to return those particular max and mean year from. So over here now, as we are filtering this particular one, what we're going to do is to say what? You know what? So the year function here, so we're going to actually bring in our date, this date here, and we close it and ask if this is actually greater than or equal to mean, which is underscore mean year. So I believe if you followed me in the previous video, you would have known the reason why I'm using the underscore. So I'm going to use the ampersand for and. Let's go down. We type the year function again, the date, and this time around we close if it's actually greater than. Sorry, this one should be greater than or equal to, while this one will be less than or equal to the max here. So give a space for it to be readable. So once we are done right now, we have to go shift, enter, close this and hit our comma. Then once we are done, we go ahead and hit the enter key. This will definitely solve the problem for us, all right? Without we converting any column into a text. So over here, if I click here now, can you see 27, 28, and 29? This is what it is, right? So the next thing right now is to actually add some couple of columns. How do we do that? So what column do we need to actually add right now? First of all, let us add the month number. So we have to always put the column name inside the double quotes. So month number. So we close and we hit our comma. So with our comma right here, to retrieve the month number, we use the month function. With the month function, it's looking for date column. So here we go, this way. So if I put my comma right now, this time around, I want to retrieve the month. But what I want to do now is to retrieve the short and the long month. So let's go with the long month first. So I'm going to say month, long. So over here, so for we to return months as January, February down to December, we don't need to use the month function any longer. We use function called the format function. This format function is looking for value, and that value is this particular date right here. My square bracket, date, we have this. So once we have gotten this now, we actually put the comma right here. We're talking about the long one, right? Inside double quotes, we type in 4m's, and we actually go ahead and close, put a comma right on it. And this time around, we do under month again, and it's gonna be short. That is the short month. Then we use the same format right here again, and over here we're gonna do date and comma. Instead of 4m's, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, just 3 of them. Then we go ahead and close. So maybe you want to see what we have just done right away. Let's say some couple of columns we just added. So right now we have those columns here. Maybe your question will be like, why do we need to add a month number that start from 1 and ends in 12 when we're not going to use it for anything like analyzing our data? Don't worry, it has its own place. Let me quickly show you how this works before we move further. So let's say we go over here right now and we want to create a particular report. So with that particular month, so I've selected this one right now. Instead of me to retrieve this from here, I rather go over to my calendar and bring in the month. So let's go with the month, long month. The long month starts from April. Can you see it right now? It starts from April and it ends, in September, which is awkward already. So how do we fix this? In case you can see it better, we can go over here and actually crank up the value to 20. So can you see this better right now? So this is what it is. So how do we solve this problem? Let's go back here. This is where the month number here actually play a very big role. So let's click on this one and go over to where it says sort or sort by column, and make sure you sort by month number, which is this very one here. So you can do the same thing to the shorter format in case you want to use it for anything. So we do month number, and this will definitely fix it for us when we go back right here, right now. It started from January and end at December, right? Okay, we need to add some couple of columns. You have seen what we want to achieve before now. So now we put a comma right in here. We want to retrieve the quarter, like going over here now, we do QTR for quarter. And to retrieve the quarter right now, we need to actually make sure we actually use the quarter function. So quarter. So with the quarter function, all we need is to supply the dates. And here we go. We go ahead and close. But this time around, if I hit my enter key, what I'm going to see is just a number, right? So let's find out. So this number we have right here, right now, using it for any analysis wouldn't make any sense because nobody can tell if this is a quarter or some kind of random number we generated or quantity sold, whatever. So what do? We need to actually add some kind of prefix, right? So let's go back. And over here right now, we're going to actually come here and inside double quotes, we want to put Q in capital letter like this. And if I should actually hit my enter key, it will actually give me error. And can you see what I have right here right now? So that was because I did not concatenate this to it. So we need to actually do what we call concatenation, like this using this ampersand right here. And if I hit my enter right now, the problem will be solved for me. So right now, instead of we to see 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 4, and 5, yeah, 1, 2, 4 rather. Instead of us to see 1 to 4, we rather add this particular Q to it or normal quarter to it, right? So we have achieved this very one right now. The next thing now is that how do you actually add year and quarter together? In case you want to actually create a particular report that should actually utilize the year and the quarter at the same time, let me show you. So you can say year. So you give a space and you type in QTR and quarter. And over here, we're going to use the format function, or rather, I think it's going to be, we are looking for the number, right? Let's go, not the number. Yeah, let's go with the year. The year, we pick dates here, get this one in, and we close. Because we want to get this one and the quarter, we can use the ampersand right here. And actually inside here, we're going to do capital Q and under ampersand again. And this time around, we're going to use the quarter function. So quarter here, and we'll bring the date in. Once we close this right now and hit our enter key, this will actually give us the year and the quarter. So let's see what we have here. So let's go. Can you see it right now? So year and quarter, it depends on what you want. If you want to have a space between them, all you have to do is to make sure you go over here and permit that to actually occur into it. So put a space over here and hit the enter key. There should be space right now. Can you see? 2008 quarter 3. That is what you have. All right. So what about you retrieving the days of the month? So we do this. I'll put a comma right here. We just use the day function to get this in. So we go ahead and do date, and this will give us the day, of the month. All right. So now we need to actually add the weekday. So the weekday now is very important. Put a comma right here. We actually go over here and add the weekday, right? So with the weekday right now, we have a specific function that we can actually use to retrieve our weekday. And that is going to be the weekday function here. So with the weekday function, it's looking for date. We give it the dates right here. If I put a comma right here now, it's giving me 1, 2, 3. So what is it saying? I think it's going to be more than that. Let's see. Yeah, 1 to 3 here. It says return a number from 1 to 7 and identifying the day of the week of a date, right? So now if I choose 2, that means I want my week to start from Monday. So I can decide to go with 2 right here. So I go ahead and close it. That will definitely do that particular magic for me. If I hit my enter key right now, let's see what we have. So we just have nothing but a number. So which means what I would have done better to name this one now, instead of us naming it weekday, we can actually say week number. So week number right here, this is cool because we're going to use this particular week number to format the proper weekday. So right now we want to get to add 2 weekdays, the shorter form and the longer format. So weekday long, just like what we've done before. So what I need to do right here right now is to use the format function. We bring the date in, put a comma here. We do 1, 2, 3, 4 for the longer format. So we can just copy this one and just make a little change to it. So we put a comma right here, paste this in, and instead of 4 we show 3, and instead of long we show short. This will give us what we want. Can you see it right now? So do you know the same problem that happened the other time would happen right here? Let's quickly go back here, and now instead of us looking at this particular month here, we'll rather show the weekdays. Right, so let's go with the weekday long. So it's starting from Friday and ends on Wednesday. So to fix this right now, you should have known what to do already. So make sure you actually highlight either of them that you want to actually change and do it by week number. So always make sure you actually create a column that has a name that easily, come up to your head and do whatever you want to do with it. So we do the same to this one. So week number is what we're looking for. All right, we have this. Let's go back. Can you see it right now? Monday and Sunday. This is perfect. We have actually gotten this, done. So right away, what we need to do is to actually look for if a particular weekday is a weekend or is actually a working day. I don't know. Let's try that right here. Okay. So I'm going to put a comma here now. So I always love to call this one week type. If you have been following me right now, I call it week type. And to get a week type right away, what we need to do is to study something. There are several ways to do this, but I'm going to actually make sure I just cancel now. And let's study something before we do that. So over here on the week number, let us see what is associated with Sunday. That is 7. You get it? So what's that? Sunday, 7, and Saturday is actually 6. Do you get it right now? So what can we do? 7 and 6, they fall under weekends, and the remaining number falls under weekdays. So 7, 6, try to remember this. Let's go back. So now we can type in our week type. So put a comma right on it. And this time around, what I want to do is to actually use a function here called the switch function. Switch when it is true. Okay, now we want to actually say, you know what? I want weekday. So this weekday now, we want to actually close it. So when we close it, we want to ask if it is actually equals to 7. Then, if this is true, what we want to have here is going to be weekend. Then if it is, which is the weekday here, and we close, and this one, if it is equals to 6, then we actually still want weekend. Otherwise, right now, we want just nothing but weekday. So we can close our switch right here and hit our enter key to see what we have done, if it makes any sense. Okay, as you can see, we have the weekend and the weekdays right here. Let's verify and see what weekend falls to. So we have the 2 here. This is weekday and we have weekend. So for weekend right now, weekend falls on the, let's see, I think we have flopped somewhere. 5 and 6. Let's quickly look at our code again. Okay, all right. What we're going to do, if this does not work, because right now this is not working, instead it's retrieving something, that we don't want for us. So what we can do right now is to make sure we clear this one off from here. Let us use an alternative. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to be using the if function to say if this particular, weekday right here, so that we retrieve from here, and we want to actually still use this particular Monday as 2 right here that we have used previously, and we close and actually ask if it is actually less than 6, then comma is actually weekday, otherwise is weekend. So we can close our if and hit our enter key. This time around we should have exactly what we want. So always have different ways to actually achieve something. In case if one does not work for you, the other one should work. So we are looking for the weekend. So look at it. So right now our weekend is gonna be 6 and 7, which is correct. And over here it should be Saturday and Sunday. That is actually perfect. You can see what I've done right here using the if function to actually get it done. Can you look at it right now? So over here, we are using the if function to actually get what we want done. So when we try to use the switch function, it doesn't really work for us. I don't know why it happened, but my alternative is actually this very one right here, right? Okay, sometime you might actually need to use the end of month, start of month to get things done. How will you do it? So it's simple. So what I'm going to do right now is just to some kind of put a comma right here. End of month. Why writing them together? Of month. So how do we actually get end of month? To get end of month, what we need to do is to use the end of month function. We already have a function for that in place. So in the end of month function should be carrying this particular data as well right here. So once you have done that, you put a comma right on it, and over here we want to make sure this one is actually 0, and we click on OK. So let us look at what this will definitely retrieve for us. So by looking at it over here, so let's go ahead and do that. So we can go ahead and some kind of format this into this particular short deck. So let's open it up. So you can see end of month this is actually January. It ends at 31st. February is 28, 31, 30, and all of that. This is actually the end of month. So this is it. So what about when we want to use this start of month? How do we do that? It's a bit different. Let's try to do that. So now we'll put a comma right on it. This one will be start of month. So for the start of month right now, what we are going to do is to use the end of month function to get it done. End of month. Right. So with this particular one now, what we need to do is to supply the dates into it. Now put a comma. We're gonna do -1 and close, and we do +1 right here. This should give us the start of month. I always love to verify what I'm doing to see if this is correct. Otherwise, if there's any error anywhere, you wouldn't know. So let's verify and make sure we convert this one into the shader format, just like this one. So we have it. The start of month starts on the 1st. Can you see? 1st, and here we have 11th, 10, 9. That is the month that you're into. Can you see right now? This is how it is. There are so many scenarios where you would need to actually get this used. If you don't know it, that's going to be a big problem, right? Okay, we are done with this. The next thing right now, let us add some couple of let's call that, I think we're going to call it some kind of couple of seasons. Yeah, seasons. So we have winter, we have spring, we have summer, we want to actually add them to our table so that when we need to calculate anything that has to do with those particular seasons, it will be very easy for us. So let's quickly get it done. Over here, what I'm going to do is to actually put a comma right here now and go down. So now I'm going to actually comment something here. So here we go. Then what I'm going to do right now, inside here, I'm going to type in season. So put a comma right on it. And I'm going to use using the switch function. Switch function, true. Put a comma right here. And what I'm going to do now is this. You must first of all try to know when a particular season starts. You need to know that date. That is very important. So like now, winter is actually, I think winter should be, I'm thinking what winter should be. So what we're going to do now is just we're gonna put months here and dates. So put a comma right here. Was it comma? No, we close it. And we use a function called the in function. So we're going to tell the in function to go ahead and search for inside here, inside this particular curly bracket. We type inside it, okay, the value 12, comma, 1, comma, 2. All right, it's going to be December. Can you see December right here? So followed by this and this. You just need to know all of this. So we're not doing the start and the end because we might not know when it is going to end. So we're not doing this start, just one date. So this is just the winter period. So the next thing now is going to be like, okay, if this is true, all I want you to do is just to call this winter, put a comma right on it. And over here, you don't have to do this all over and over again. Just come and copy this one and we paste it, and finally we paste on that one. Unfortunately, this is going out of its original shape. We just have to get it back to normal. All right, this one now we are doing for spring. So let us turn this one to 3, and this one here we turn it to 4. So we turn this one to 5. So here we're gonna just type in. Then over here we turn this one to 6, then 7, and finally this one should be 8. And what will be this one? This is the summer period, and this is this under period here. All right, so the date of this one is gonna be this here, 9, 10, and 11 here. So make sure everything is correct 100%, right? So this is what we have. So we have just done this one now, and I think we have an issue here. Let's find out what it is. We shouldn't have this particular last comma in it. Let's take it off. That is correct. So if we go now and verify it, we come over here, we can click over here, and we'll find all of the seasons here, right? All right. The next thing I'm going to add, because I'm a Nigerian, I want to actually add some couple of, holidays we used to observe in Nigeria. And the one that just passed, I think yesterday is actually Independence, 1st October. I'm going to add it as well. So how do we add all of those particular, holidays on our calendar table? So you have to know the specific date for those particular holidays. You can match it to your own country's holiday. It's all the same thing, just change the date, right? So how do we do that right now? To add a couple of holidays here, we are going to go, let's drop this. All right, so to add those particular holidays, I'm going to put a comma right here, and let's go down here. Now I'm going to leave a comment here as well. So what do we do now? we need to start getting the holiday. First of all, I want to get New Year. So every New Year is a holiday right here in this country. So that is going to be on the 1st of January. That is 1/1. So how do we actually put this together right here? It's very simple. So let's just do is New Year Day. New Year's Day, right? Put a comma right on it. So what we're going to use now is to use the if function here. So using the if function, so if month here, we close, we ask if it is equals, close, if month. Okay, yeah, if month, then we bring the date here, we close. So if the month is equal to 1, and using this ampersand here, so, and before and, I think, is it? Okay, yeah, and now, so we want to do day. So we bring this date here. So we can now go ahead and close this. And the day is as well equals to 1. Then what we want is just to actually say true. Let us just use true to specify that for a reason. Later after all, you see why I'm doing this. Otherwise, you give us false. Can you see it right now? So we'll put a comma right on it. So we have just done for New Year. Oh, sorry, we need to close our if here. So we have done for our New Year right here. The next thing, let's go over to Labor Day. So we have what we call Labor Day. I'm going to say is Labor Day. So with this particular is Labor Day right now, it's simple. I think we are using almost similar thing. So what I'm going to do is just to copy this particular part down to here, Ctrl C, and come over here and paste it down right here. So now, instead of me to be using 1 here, I'm going to change this one to 5, right? That is the month, the 5th month. And for the day, for Labor Day, it's going to be 1st here, which is actually correct. This is exactly what I want, right? So we have done that one. The next thing again is for we to go down. So what we're going to do is so now we have is Democracy Day. So for this particular is Democracy Day, we want to go ahead and actually paste in this one, this same one again. So for Democracy Day, the month is going to be the 6th month of the year. Can you see how easy it is? The 6th month of the year, and the day should be 12. Right here, we just put 2 on it. So 12. So we go down again. Okay, let's come to the 1st October 1960 right here in my country when we got our independence. So that is Nigeria for you. So now we're going to find out if it is actually independence. So I'm going to do is, so to emphasize this now, I'm going to say is Nigerian independence. Or independence? Yeah, Independence Day. Right? So it's very long, no problem. So what I'm going to do right now is just to do the same thing I've done before. We'll put a comma right on it, and we'll paste this in here. For Independence Day, it's actually it's October. So we do for the month, we do 10 over here. And it's going to be 1. That is 1st of October. That is our Independence Day right here. Okay, now we're going to add some couple of 2, Boxing Day and Christmas Day, which is very simple. We go down again. Is so for this, it's Christmas Day. We just go ahead and paste this one in. So for Christmas Day, everybody know is December 25. So very simple and easy. This is going to be 12. Here is going to be 25. And lastly, we want to go down and ask if this is actually Boxing Day. We put a comma right in it. So now we'll remove this particular comma right from here. So this one is going to be 12 as well, and it's going to be 26 for the day. December 26. All right, this is peculiar to my country. You can do this, and all you need to do is to change the name, the month, and the day. That is it. If you have more holidays in your country, you can actually add it up. All I just want to give you right here is just the idea that you need, and that is all you need, right? So if I go ahead and hit my enter right now, I'm going to have more huge columns than what I have before. Can you see it right now? But unfortunately, they do not make any sense. All I'm seeing is a bunch of true and false everywhere, right? Can you see it right now? So they're not making any sense at all. So what can we do to make sure this one makes a lot of sense? It's simple. We're going to add a column, but this particular column will not be mixed over here because we have a lot going on here right now. Let us add that column differently. So here you have what is called new column. Click on new column and add a standalone column. So under this particular standalone column, we're going to name it holiday or holidays, right? Okay, for our holidays, we're going to use the switch function. Then it's going to be switched through. So put a comma right on it. So we have to remember what we have here. We have New Year, Labor, Democracy, Independence, Christmas, and Boxing Day. We want to actually have all of this here and try to actually make sure we do the right thing. So I want to say, what is it called? So if I type is new, you're going to say right here that is New Year, is Nigeria Independence Day. What I'm going to do is to actually use this particular is New Year Day right here. So if I actually bring this is New Year Day right here and I actually check if it is equal to true, what do I want for it now? Whenever it is equal to true, we want to actually have here New Year. Can you see it right now? So we go down again, then we ask for labor. So I'm going to type in is labor. So it's Labor Day. So when is Labor Day is actually true. So when it is true, comma, what we want is just to have here, put a comma right on it. Then we have to go for democracy. Is democracy. So if it is equal to true, then what we want to have here should be, can you see it right now? Then we add again, that is going to be is Nigerian Independence Day. So if it is equals to true, then we just want to add something very short. And the next one is going to be Christmas. So is Christmas. So if it is equal to true, then we want to put right here. Okay, now we have added Boxing Day. Then the last one now should be just blank, right? Let me just use just blank for now. Maybe later after all, we can do something else. If I hit my enter key right now, I'm going to have an error because I have a comma right here. Already I have an error. Let us remove this comma. Now, if you look at it, everything works 100%. So let's go over here. Now we have blanks. Everything looks blank right here. What seems to be the issue? Everything looks blank because all of those ones here, they're all false. All right. So over here, we have what? We have filter placed that we have not cleared. Can you see? We have to clear all filters. That is when we can see things going on right here. So when I do this now, we have blank, we have Boxing Day, Christmas, Democracy, Independence, Labor, and New Year. So for where we have blanks right now, what should we have right there? So I'm going to actually put a comma right here. And here now for the alternate result, or when the value is false, we just want to have not holidays. Or not holidays? Yeah, not holidays should be cool. Then I hit my enter key. Then instead of we just see blanks, we rather see not holidays right here. Let's go back. So not holidays, and we have holidays. Let's try to see what happens here. When I bring this into here, Ctrl V to paste. So instead of us seeing this month here, I can actually go ahead and remove this now. And we are going to use the one that we have brought together, holidays. Can you see? So let's say I want to have our, go to the DAX measure here. Was it DAX measure? Let's just go to the fact sales table and we'll bring in the quantity sold. Now, nothing happens. If you look at it right now, it's giving us the repetition of, the grand total over and over again. So can somebody guess what actually happened? This is as a result of not having connection with the fact table already now. So let's go over to the modeling view. Now we are here. I'm going to actually go ahead and have this hidden. Remember in the previous video, we have done this. In case you have not done this with us, you might want to do that. Don't lose out. So now we want to bring this over around here. Now we can shift this to the side now, shift this and have this particular calendar here. Have this one hidden. Make it this way. So now here is our date key. We can drag our date key now and put it right here. Then let's go ahead and click on OK. Save. Let's go back here. Now correct. So you can see we have more revenue, on those particular dates that does not belong to any holiday than holidays, right? So you can actually rank this, sort by holiday. Once you've done that, you come here and choose ascending or descending. Can you see? You can just sort by whatever you like. Ascending. Can you see it now? This is it. So if you want to actually only visualize those particular holidays, you can do it. What will you do? Those holidays, you can just go ahead and leave them in. Let's go over to this particular part where it says holidays. And we just go ahead and select everything. And we look for where it says not holidays. We remove it. And we're only having the quantity sold on holidays. So to make it look much more better, we can actually do something like this. Then this can give us much more good view to see where we have more revenue coming from. And remember, you can rank this. So by clicking on sort. So let's sort by quantities. Can you see it now? So let's go over to the x-axis so that we can see it better. I'm going to put it at 15. Then we can have this one hidden. Have this one hidden as well. Now, if you look at it right now, Christmas, Labor, Independence, Democracy, Boxing, and followed by New Year right here. So we have more sales on Christmas, Labor's Day, Independence Day, and stuff like that. All right, there is one more thing I want to show you. If you're still watching, I'm going to say thank you very much. So please do leave a comment. Let me know what you feel about this video. All right, let's go ahead and actually get this one removed and replace it with something else. Let's go ahead and replace it with the main date right here. This one that says date. So when we replace it with this particular date, I'm going to have this one removed now. And Ctrl C and Ctrl V to paste. Now this one is coming from our calendar table. So right away, I'm going to just go ahead and click on this one and deactivate the one coming from the calendar table from here. Let's get the automatic one from the date key here. Now, this one from the date key is no more, some kind of, should I call it grouped, or is no more on hierarchy. But this new one we created is now on hierarchy because Power BI still has some kind of, access over it to do it whatever it likes. So what can we do to actually make sure this is not grouped or in a hierarchy? We have to break the hierarchy. Let's check out what I call hierarchy. Going over here right now, you can see there is a hierarchy here. The year, the quarter, the month, and the day. Please look at this particular part before I do any other thing. Let's now go over here, and we are right on our date table. We want to go to table tools here, and this particular mark as date table, click on it. And it's just like you telling Power BI to, like, you know what, I think I have my date right now. Can you go ahead and actually deactivate your own default date for me and let me use my date the way I like it? That is what you have done right here. Okay, let's quickly go back to here. Can you see the hierarchy has been broken, and we now have this. Do you see this right now? So, as I've said earlier, this particular date can be used anywhere. All you have to do is to make sure you copy the code and save it somewhere, because you have some kind of comprehensive dates right now. Before you will need something more than this, I think, is when you actually need something very complex to do, you know, based on time series and stuff like that. This is a comprehensive date that you can build and reuse it over and over again. Control A, Control C, create a new column in your new project and paste it right in, and it's going to work 100%. You get it right down.